Kencity Pain. Kencity Pain.
I am not serving only country, I'm serving down, and especially the youth of this country.
Kencity Pain. Kencity Pain.
Education is the equalizer because it is still true that the mind is the standard of a human being. No matter how tall you are, if your mind does not work well, you are just a tall fool.
Kencity Pain. Kencity Pain.
Mr. Speaker, the cocoa farmers, they have reduced producer price and Erikoboku cannot be found. They don't care about cocoa farmers and they are here telling us inflation, macroeconomics is already.
Kencity Pain.
The Chinese president summons all our presidents and they summon them. The letters may be polite, but it's summons. They go to Beijing, tails between their legs.
Kencity Pain.
You have done the same propaganda for 15 months. Today, you have been exposed by electricity charges. Electricity Tariffs Act exposing you that you are not doing nothing in government for the last 15 months. You've been exposed by water tariffs that for the last 15 months you are not doing anything in government. Mr. Speaker, business owners are suffering. They cannot pay electricity tariffs. Mr. Speaker, cocoa farmers are suffering because you are struggling to manage the cocoa sector. Mr. Speaker, this is nothing other than propaganda. Mr. Speaker, your government so far is government by propaganda, or propaganda with propaganda, and full of garbage. Mr. Speaker, thanks for the opportunity.
Kencity Pain.
Mr. Speaker, the cocoa farmers, they have reduced producer price and Erikoboku cannot be found. They don't care about cocoa farmers and they are here telling us inflation, macroeconomics is already.
Kencity Pain. Kencity Pain.
But then they say, I am not serving only country, I'm serving down, and especially the youth of this country.
Kencity Pain.
Have role models, and the role models pragmatic ones, a pragmatic leader like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
We live in a world of contradictions. These contradictions, however, keep the world going. Let me explain what I mean. Ghana is a small but very dynamic, independent African state. We are trying to reconstruct our economy and to build a new, free, and equal society. To do this, we must attain control of our own economic and political destinies. Only thus can we create higher living standards for our people and free them from the legacies and hazards of a colonial past and from the encroachments.
The pain.
You have done the same propaganda for 15 months. Today, you have been exposed by electricity charges. Electricity Tariffs Act exposing you that you are not doing nothing in government for the last 15 months. You've been exposed by water tariffs that for the last 15 months you are not doing anything in government. Mr. Speaker, business owners are suffering. They cannot pay electricity tariffs. Mr. Speaker, cocoa farmers are suffering because you are struggling to manage the cocoa sector. Mr. Speaker, this is nothing other than propaganda. Mr. Speaker, your government so far is government by propaganda, of propaganda, with propaganda, and full of garbage. Mr. Speaker, thanks for the opportunity.
The pain. The pain. Good afternoon. Raise to the power 1 million. Another beautiful afternoon. Today happens to be the 26th day of March 2026. Another beautiful afternoon. I believe Sababia will be an Yankopon Adumti Ohoye. Yanso yahuye papa ebraso fi sabre ekosi se no nan edebo amiane wo edi ahiemu abusua wa join yen e wo Facebook and YouTube net2 TV GH net2 TV GH afi se wodi wani chiemu e wo radio show na afi wo kan ho ho asante mantemo ash 101.1 we are second to none over there. And then say, Udru Freemante Munsusua. We are the pride of Central, not radio 90.1. And of course, Enkapu Primantemo and Susuno. We are shaping the nation through Oman 107.1. Ebusuya Ebra Sosiade Ebrewo. Minim se watna se ewo net2 television ho. Ya no Susuno over when ye dika subum edase. Your friend Anthony Kofi Inkum Dazi. Mr. Inkum, Jumadie no No Pein and your day eba said yetiano Sam Pepe ene ye shasi no ye editorial ebeba afei Shadrach Fodro ebesan join me na ye di enkomo otinam ede ama Albert Asumani political za na fe yatoa so akọ yenem wo a wo hwe yen etie yen wo kan ho ne ne wo ye adwuma nti yese bo modern se ubetimi asene o comment bo modern se ubetimi asene o message eno no o dey fa YouTube net 2 TV GH o dey fa wo ba ye kenkan ni nyina de amaw afei se ye WhatsApp na pese wo sene enso so a yese bo modern se ubetimi e dey afa WhatsApp e dey aba WhatsApp number no 0240 550899 0240550899 what the foul about shop sabatory afe erofie eti as usual obekan na yatoaso akọ yerim abusua ma menkanfo ema se o pedro betimi aboa ma bema I mean watimi enya the full command ne dia eye tabia takum eno na de mema tumi ema mema eye mema mu mema ye mema prekope ipatro baabi eto aduro bi akwa o se mepeta bia takum e was such as nti onsa kan bia na afi watia no tafre eno ano no o sme wona akọ o bebo adwuma abode a woni hode aka ho ama bibia ayekama amfe bama sam no susu no ebegina yie abusu adwuma bi a woye bia no tabia takum betimi atobi aton amusika babotom frani ani nkomo e was 0243686861 0243686861 na fe ye no eni nkomo e wo ho wo a wutie yen ehwe yen no ebre so a ye be mo abam na fe won so aba abesi no pain ama bibia aye kama abusua madame hono ma pick bibi from the lion's mentality but area me shewun kura ne se ba bia wo bia fata se mi gina ha na mi kuta etai na se dwumadie ne nso so ne din no aye sinu pain na asamba na mintimi ense kire mebo enkamu nokore enka no senia etia na sabe me ye mamboye ni enti asamba yesekire yebo eka nokore ka no senia etia ye din komo kakra fa mampon akuapem Center for Plant Medicine Research sikedia ekoso ho nanso empanifo da no no mo hwe se sikedie ni nkoso na adwuma no egu yabeka ho asem ewa ha no wetin say yes apem nkofo and newspapers ni yanzo am de niam bi akwa akogu mamoboa sa strategic partnership no wo de koma wo mu kura sika no mbese wiye gombotom esese abantimi pompenfo e woni free ho ansana yetimi ape proper strategic partnership e di ama company no until then ye betimi kura kofa contract from aboche di abrewo mo omo raw materials ni nyina ba krono nti adwuma ni mu mieda na mame na me ho na afa me mpiki bibi from the lion's mentality me ba me no ebedi nkomo na yato aso akwanim fodro enso be join me na ye de nkomo ahodo de abrew na wo ye Ghana ha ye se niam esesa bas ye ya ebetimi aka no kra de akere ye ho a abrabom mu adene adidie mu aye dene eniam abo eda gina babia ejina do ensakara kakra ba Ghana sika semmo ns akwa interest rate babia be gina a child say ato is forcing honorable ato is forcing ashe central region for nyam why ade honorable why ade na mo kwaso na mo pin komanim na mo ma ahotoso emra mo kwaso na mo ma ahotoso emra na mo ma ahotoso ba ebeboa mo ankasa we ni ade aye sirebusa mo betimi aye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is out there ewo UN assembly na okoye no ena okakire wo mu se babia adru no yenya reparation chese esese yenya bibia e chance ye South Africa for ho but abrofo no nkai hu se wo madi ye boni bia ye remfi ye da na sankomo we no ye de beba fom na afa medu wo awura the builder in chief book num na there's uko builder in chief book num ye wo baby a ye say a plea for justice for justice. Mini obedi mu enkomo na wahunu senia etie na si descende na face yesi ye tie si Ghana politicians so a wanya citizens na dia da ye wo mo no because Ghana politicians amabufu boye mu enkofo na mache se wo matidi wo man ni mu na ye aka nyina ye bre faso bia ni ye so ene ye bre saa eti se ye wa John Dramani Mahama hu no de kɔ hɔ de a ye twa no si famba yenso ya de beto an wa ha na yenso citizens no yama politicians na tiase se bonso suma ma bufu abehye yemu ye bedi ni nyina ho nkomo na afi yato aso akọ yenim up next a lions mentality sin no pain ye kan senia etie we are on.
The lion has freedom because the lion demands freedom. The lion has freedom because he fights for freedom. His very nature says he will die for that freedom. Perhaps there's no more valuable asset on this earth than freedom. Something you can only understand if you've experienced a lack of it. In your own life, you must fight for freedom. Your own and that of others. The freedom to speak your mind. The freedom to be who you want to be. The freedom to live on your terms. Freedom means fairness for all. The freedom to be who you must be while allowing others to be who they're going to be. There is no greater value. Fight for your freedom.
All right, welcome back. Ebra so say menu edi enkomo yede editorial an yede eba. Na enne no me de obeko His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na soye. Na utimu se Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama yebana baso ewo babia especially Africa hade yebana baso ewo babia se papa no akasa wachire eniodin kakra but you see enkoma okodi ye ewo ho no ni nyina no eye de ben ya oba eye Africa Union ena womo ati ekuo bi committee bi na committee no yewa John Dramani Mahama ene dano na ni nyina ene se womo asiki for reparation chese eniama ekoso mmre bi a atwam between abrofo ene abibifo no womo pese womo de eno eye nkaidum ka kire abrofo ne se look ekwan ya mode efa aso mmre bi atwam mode ye nananom fa aso mmre bi atwam ne yewe mfiye eti ye de sa committee we ye de kakai mo na nokwa ne se ansana sa committee no ebeba so no there are some African countries and as there are some countries where we are seeing now womo ekovotu ye se womo gitum ebi nso so womo nyintum ansana womo ahyase a womo edi hu nkomoyi na America force womo de womo nje saade no antum eti womo de they voted against it. Argentina force so womo nyintum and so they also voted against it. And na womo aka enso so gitu mu a I mean se say ekopie ewo UN ya womo edi hu enkomo ede ekoso na yewa John Dramani Mahama call ya no wo kasa no ne nsɛm ahodoɔ bi a wɔkaeɛ me pese yetie nsɛm ni bi ne yetie wie a na afei yɛgyina so ade adi nkɔmmɔ ma yentie ne nsɛm wɔkaeɛ no ebi.
They were also called girl or boy, regardless of how old you were. And maybe I should also say that filthy N-word.
Kencity Media.
If you ever needed a surname, it would be that of your master. And sometimes they were branded like cattle with the plantation's insignia or logo. There were sugar plantations. There were also coffee, cotton, tobacco, and cocoa plantations in the Caribbean and the Americas. South America had diamond and gold mines. They were also called girl or boy, regardless of how old you were. And maybe I should also say that filthy N-word.
Enti we His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghana Mampeni, and Okasa Yeno, Kwayana Omofaso, Ede Yanananom Kra Efri, Ebibrim, Eduomo, Equamanone, Equator Stoda Yaduomo Framioma, Yaduomo Frafra, which is a Kwaya Yaduomo Fasono, na Enyakra. Na ma yenti the purpose of a year committee no, ya womo seeking for reparation no, ma yenti enkoma and also di edify.
Kencity Media.
To the plight of about more than 12.5 million men, women, and children whose homes, communities, names, families, hopes, dreams, futures, and lives were stolen from them over the course of 400 years.
Kencity
I
Media.
speak these words today not only for Ghana, but also in solidarity with the rest of Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and the wider diaspora, and indeed all people of good conscience throughout the world. This resolution is a pathway to healing and reparative justice. This resolution is a safeguard against forgetting. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, violence begins with language. When words are weaponized or to codify abuse, when people are called out of their names, regardless of their state of dress, when slaves were captured, they were always stripped of their clothing while being kept in the dungeons of the fortresses that had been built on the African coast by the European traders. They were forced with their limbs chained and shackled into the hold of cargo ships. They remained naked, packed like sardines during the month-long journey through the Middle Passage. Not all those who were loaded onto the ships survived the voyage. A number of the ships sank with their entire human cargo. Others who fell sick were thrown overboard. And a few who preferred death to captivity voluntarily
Kencity
jumped
Media.
overboard. It is believed that 10 to 20% of enslaved people died in the Middle Passage. Whenever a ship arrived at its destination, the enslaved people, still naked, were taken to the market where they were inspected and appraised like livestock. They were then placed on an auction block in front of an audience of potential buyers and sold to the highest bidder. Once they arrived on the plantation where they would work and live for a lifetime, they were also stripped of their names. And so you were no longer Fatu, or Kofi, or Bubakar, or Nanayao,
Kencity Media.
or Menka, Nayong, or Hamisu. To the plight of about more than 12.5 million.
Enti we His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghana Mampeni, and he is now the leader and strategy for AU championing for reparation. Na menyanentie se Yes, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the former president of Ghana, Okanho and Wamo Eshase, and Yera John Dramani Mahama and Soswaba or Twaso, say na me pese me hu. Because Osha Bibi te say agenda 111 ani e kan ho asemi kenon so nka Yera John Dramani Mahama ba ye na otwaso eye ho adwuma kama because eye san na ye de chechire oman because I remember say National Health Insurance ehon komodie eye NDC for ene hyase eti se okokan eye the State of the Nation address ewo Yera Jerry John Royce ne pen so a oko parliament no ene oko ready saade no ewo ho and okan ho asem he mentioned a National Health Insurance scheme okan ho asem ewo ho that was 1993 no the first State of the Nation address okokan ho asem but Yera John Agyapong Kufuor any MPP bae no wo mo beto aso ema shema ombe ye miye ombe ye omo she bibia se make sure say ebebem sa na ya na ye hwehwe sa na ya na ye hwehwe eti ye ntoaso na asem na me Yera John Dramani Mahama eka o say se wo emre bi a atwam ekwa na wo ekwan a wo mo ede Africa for fa so before de ebibrefo efa so abrofo yi ede bibifo fa so etete yen na ebedu ba bi kra na wo mo esesa yen edien kowura yanananom omdo mu kowura danjo bim dan moto ba bi ansese nipa da eho na ne yedu omo ekokogu nempo yedu omo akogu wa wi a wo mo abo pos wo mo de sankofo no eko edu omo eko omo man mu no yetimi ebo mo naked. It is our yabama ya running tade nyina na oluman sakora ehuna bobrim kwakudo nsuro na odaso saa ne yade no te sheep mu na awo ede no tese ye shoda se ya titi nipa na nkasa na ni nyina mu no se yade om kokodu a enye se bia yade om ko ba bia ye koto om no kra no wo mo eni ba mo so me MPB mfanhye wo mo ebimu bedu no na chese still ano they are still naked ni ya de o makogu baabi na ye pe wo a ye pe atofo e mo ma beto nipa e de wo mako na bra wo mo di wo mo e konso no du baabi akwan mu ebitimi wu ebi nso wo mo re ne ya e koso a wo mo atimi ha na afo wo mo ankasa huri atonsuo no wo mawu afa ya japade ne ade akwa no mo ba no mo de mo nsa bom no mo de ko eti o matete yen pa na no no odina so akase wei no enye kasa wo kama Africa kwa na mom o ya ba bi te se Latin America wo mo nsoso nyina nsoso no efa o ya wote se mu ebi no kwa no mo gold pa but ye ba gene nyina fi wo mo nsem ena ebi no de akwa akosiesie o mo man enu achiri nia ehu eya ba konso krampo ense ya do kokodu na ya pepa udin de ya pepa udin kra enti se uhia din a eye o master na ode wo akono the leader ono ni din ya de kawo de ho enti se afo kofu ni ya to atwene abena ntakuma ni ya to atwene chese ye yi nkofo din na ato agu eti se opedin bi a wuli dan ya fa na lampard na ye de lampard na mawo na eno na ni na mu ama mekra no dazi ebi bedru ne su chese me ye de me na na koye eti edin a ye de koma no dazi no ena ni na mu ana nkofo di bi baaye a ye nyina na nne ya chede agu ye din so a ye de ne nam ha na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ese saa niema we nyina no ye bibia edaso ewo yetrim sa ya wo ye fremu no edaso ewo yetrim eti edru babia the mere recognition of for Africa no yede no beto nchen na afei yamanti ase aye adwuma se esese Africa enya reparation no eyede an eye brofo ene yede ato ho no ne se esese yetimi se yama Africa ahire enema hiri sika ya hire ahonyade ene nneema hudo bebrebe eti reparation no eche se esese omutimi ema yeti ase esese abrofo na nkasa no dru ba bia womma yeti ase sampa ye fommo pa memom ofom na ye fommo no bia anke ye de sadie wei e de patamakoma eti che se Africa ehia empata wei ene nkoma ye di na ore ekwan a His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ghana man pani fa so no otimi ekasa ya yes wakasa because ekwan a nkofo ndi ya fa so no enye etan ehu omakum yesunsun eno ka ho ana bibini akoye nipa bi a ehu ahye ne mu ehu ahye ne krama because ekwan a mode en fa so no edisuro honhom ene bewura yemu eti edru ba bi esese etimi fa kwami so a yebema saade ni nyina afiri ho ni ahunu se bibini nso ni pa otom eti san komoi ene ya sha ase eti eye AU champion for reparation eno ene nkomoi eye pa yemom ekwan a yewura John Dramani Mahama fa so kokasa ye no ehun sunsanso ebeba enti ene ya ye boye nsem hia ede mani se ehun sunsanso ne hyase se eba ye nyina pintini ye nyina no na ye mfanko eyi ye ho emfrim cause nyina ne ntia sa manfo ka se yewura John Dramani Mahama yese anka Lincoln University force nkompese womoma no doctorate degree na because of one sign yesterday womo vote se womo abeji gayism any lesbianism atomu no omakohun se papa no de ni kokromotri akosi mo so teso onye ntum eti se sa na tie de a womo mfa abaso bode no emma ne biem Nemo mamenka na wiase nyina so nte se enya no nko a sa kasa we enso so ka ho presentation no ye no eno nso so ka ho na eniama ebedi akire aba no enya asem ketwa but se yei ya ma ya dwene anya adwuma se yei ya huru nyansa se babia adu no kakra bia ye wo bia no ya mboaboa no ye ni mfansie ni amfambo ni bibi fama ye nkasa ye ho na se ye bekoso ye nya ye bedi ni fu ye nya ye bedi ni fu kronosem ene ni amawia ene amamuo tantantan ya koso aha no se ye ntimi ansese mfiri ho a force no efiri ho beba no I don't think say ye betimi agina no because sa niema ya o ma sha ase ene ade no ediabufuo eba ebinum mu won say America for a vote tia say they don't support that nonsense omom support omom pe Argentina for so vote you say no yanso yampe there are others omom so vote say yanso yampe but ebimu so de susu say yenyina yanyintum because omom so ye nipa Africa for so ye nipa eno magia atum na esunsun sanso beba na pani bi ni di nkomo ene o se okohia ne nkofo ne nafofo bi a womo ebi fi UK ebi fi America ene o maba ene okofa womo opiki womo from airport na ode womo eko omo residence no na ohun se nkofo ne kasa se no on my way the SS on my way no eye omanya emu timamufo no eya adefo pa because all the kind of the type of cars wo mo ehu se ne nam kromu na e kiro se sika ewo Ghana ha eti etwa se Ghana timamufo no ediye pa enti eho ena man ne ka kire ne se enye sa na tie o ono say no you don't mean it. Say yes I mean it. Wo mu guso mo ko mu du baabi no mo fa mfuturo kwan so kakra no say what you said is the truth. Afei eno mo gitum esese ye ma amammuo papa eye adwuma ewa ha na hesesese John Dramani Mahama wakoka no UN wawie waya ade na se nyame ye wadum na ba bedru ha nia eweye nimu no yanso ye beka akyerew because moment we say yes abrofo no ebo modern di yewu a Ghana politicians mu ditimamufo wu enti Ghana for ya isusu ye timamufo a we are only recognized ye citizens. No, we are not benefiting anything. We are not beneficiaries of anything in Ghana no. Yen so no ya beka ya wabom ni yen na ya be share Jubilee House. Yen so ya seke yen so be champion for a reparation. Because SSE bibia no decentralization ebem. Bibia no SSE decentralization ebem. Wo adwuma anka ye bie omanya adwuma anka bie betimi aboa emba Ghana for enya so faso ebi na ya na man 4 point South Africa say South Africa now we are mining companies no eniama wo mo aye e South Africa now the back Ghana ha na the betutu Ghana ha de no ho a eche se ye ndie yaka atire kura omo ka me no wo mo eye adwene na ade ba ko a ewom ene say ye bia adwuma ni wi a ye wie ye mfa ye ni nie chire se adwuma no kra ekosen ana ekosen no eya ye time for ye ni endi achire enu ntimi ye bia adwuma na nkofo enwie sika wa adwuma nim omo wie sika wa adwuma nim na sika adwuma ye wie sika wo mu no ebeda na adwuma na akonanim enti adane me ka kire o se wokọ ayensu start factory na oya utie ensamo a director no dano at that time ekaye about what they were going to do, their plans. I only do now our machines are necessary. Unsananka Ghana nke baby. But management, poor management, krono yesika sa nyafu ni ewia. Because anka our contractor I should start factory. E sha se so munya. Na omuntimi kwa meet demand. It was poor management, corruption, and a good iron shoe start factory. The same thing and so koso our Ghana ha. It is a Ghana buy ube blewani no wahya ye betimi aboabo sika no ne ya de abo branka kakra ewo ye mem. Ma memfa onko the builder-in-chief book no ni nkomo the builder-in-chief book no Royal Kwaku Amodate ena etro sa book wi na wo niam ewo mu a me do eko chapter 30 a plea for justice isi yewra John Dramani Mahama me de no so papa I say, it was from these sacred traditions that the concept evolved. The idea that justice is not merely a rule to be applied, but a living principle to be protected, nourished, and defended long before modern courts and black robes. In the ancient chambers of kings and elders, there existed a sacred space where men and women could appeal beyond the letter of the law to spirit of fairness itself. Eti titibrom na okọ ahimfie a ye wo baabi a na asam na wo mu edie no de efiri mu ba no nya no nkwa ne ya no omotai edibufo demom eduru baabi nsususu a ye ma wo mu ayedi o masam ye ma wo kwan emo mo nsu timi mo mo wo chamber bi wo ho baabi a chese ho no ho ehu eti se okọ kasa na chese o kasa ema tumi bi nsusu aba wo nsra ban mu na ya kika ne ya kika besimu a we are talking about justice and ya ka ho asem. Now a plea for justice is not rebellion, it is redemption. It is not a cry against the law, it is a call to the law to remember its duty. It springs not from defiance but from faith that even in the darkest hour truth shall matters, or truth still matters. Faith that the system, however bruised, still listen, and faith that fairness will one day prevail when all else fails. So justice say omaya yatimi say we yatimamuni na okasa ema wanu tia politician a anytime obeti say timamuni bia e kasa no timamuni no kasa for nothing but speaks for justice. Periyo because omaya yatim omaya japade no ayi nyina ye dia na de na say japade akro na no etimi ma ebinom edidi imprensa dakoro esade bibia ye fa ni sweet after meals eto asoma ne ye emprenan na ebi nsoso no dakoro no kwa no ne obedi eden wampe obi ankowia na eden. Honorable Ken on Agyapong e kan say michire Ghana fo nyina say amamuo enye bibia ye de ehwahwa ye ho but esese ye ma amamuo enye nsunsuanso pa e wo nipa abrabo so enti say ye say ye bode Ghana adan na ye te Ghana ha na Ghana ha na ye te no ya adwen say bibia ye nkran enti omampani atena ye e won nkran Omampani the vice president office e won kran all the ministries nyina gun kran it is a basa enyen sunsanso e wotimamfo no so na enam se aha no kran na wo no aha ye choked into no emfa so papa esese de ba no entimi mfa mba it is yesi ye buman e ma man na konanimu dia nanka etwa se you're making sure say other regions in no Ghana ye church ye niamam e de akoba bia say the South Africa for ye okwa South Africa mo parliament o baby fofo o mampani atena ye o baby fofo che say we ma toto niama agum eti ye kwan a ye kwan e ma obi anya so emfaso ye the ministries ni nyina be gun kran ha timamufo ebre obi ye kwani enso onwan faso bia emfiri a great ministry na ye the politicians ma ana ye the koko scholarship ye the ehwe mo na wey na sa wo ye Ghana ni na Ghana mframa ebowura mu na sha asese wo kasa se Ghana ni na ka no kwetche politician na dwe ye ne se chese nipa bonesem na wode ba eti ohu anu wakunkum nanim wo ya politician na se wo hia me na munam na wani ma mfa me ho mo ya hypocrite because yewa John Dramani Mahama enne ogina ewiase nyina nim e ka kire mo se mo de Africa bi before e fa kwan bi so mle bi atwam enye. And we are championing for reparation. na se wo sa the same politician no also te ha why your politics so many years ni ye wo nipa bebre wo Ghana ha wo nya mfaso every Ghana ban so da because se Ghana ni eti baby na politician eto bottle water omokro mo de no enye rubber bottle if abrochire ba benom one ne ma ene na busua because sika ofie na sa wokọ northern region wokọ central region na emwa ene nipa enu nsuo ba ko a we are also championing for reparation because obia ehia eti wakoka no osoro eye na mo me de besi from say I mean constituency betimi ato aba ye de ama MP member of parliament ni sika sema sesa oni na busua ediye ekosoro na wo mo aka nyina no oni agiri ni nyansa bia obetimi bi bibi fofa ko ho to make sure say wo mo aka nso so no ebenya so mfaso ewo ho. Look at what Kwame A+ is doing. Kwame A+ about politics me how many years ni? How many years ni? And ya me no eka say Kwame A+ etimi ko Shatawale nchen ene Shatawale akodi nkomo watimi chese watimi alobi Shatawale ema Shatawale at the $5 million investment ekogomua but MPs ni biti ha tibon kwaso se nyankopon ema fame or the mouth for a purpose ibini one now for but they cannot lobby them tibon kwaso MPs because omofo say wo mo de omabra bomu de sade ekono eye and today oko MPP for wa find MPP for ehuru Tescom leadership omoso mfaso na mo afei enuma hu Tescom so emfaso emire bi atwa mu it was honorable Kenon Agyapong ene tu ni wusi wode ma Tescom for oye we de ma wo mo oye we de ma wo mo ofa ha no oye we no otua mu school fees no oboa wo mo today afei ena mo nsuma hu omo so mfaso amoko obi ehye mo kenanka Tescom nke gu dadada obi ena hye mo kenanka Tescom nke gu ya che na se we Tescom ni na ena yahuru so mfaso because omo ba be yusu na watimi akọ aboa wo mo nya numbers na o makoso atena ba bi o mote na fa o mu wi a o matu ejeje mu ye beto pawi Albert Asmani tena ha eka share an experience with us as Tescom president they be anu ote ha no osu that has been the norm. It is a ende ye ba wo a asem no wode waso etie no na wankasa nso no ofa wo adwene watiko because these are wicked people. Ometinya be hia no adi nkomo use you for their interest. Omu wi anu ma to atwene. Omu nka no kre, omu nya no kwafo. I can tell you, omu nya no kwafo. Na se ya hwe na afa ya maniama ansesa ewo Ghana ha. Emre bi ba se mo the ballot box ekosi ho a moni mabusuafo ne mo yia mo girls otu aba ukoye adwuma ma politician kuhu ema politician oba ba mu a no atofie ama ne mpena no ode na kwotena buchire na wama na beye eyi TikToker social media eho na omugu ena omudi nsemfo di timpanifo a wama boa party di omo atam hoho mo na Tescom ni na wokoye adwuma nipa na wo boa party ni mama nyoko ne ba ban mu no onfre kwa mo mfa ko but NDC ministers michiamo NDC ministers ma ya ade do minim se muntimi satisfy mo nkofo nyina but NDC ministers eye nkofo a ofre wo mu a wo mo peke wo ko se ofre na me se ko no kra na he will call you back. NDC ministers Omu wo nipa ho do, omu dwene nipa ho. MPP minister or you busy chain obia. What? Or you busy chain obia. That we be jina ha ekan say Bra kojo Ponkruma 2015 eba of one sha yirebi. Me friend no afa or me se me kwa no afa me back. Me din komo. Madam for power no contest ye fe obiri. Obiri aya madam for power. But because of a Ponkruma any ejuma na oye as journalist, broadcaster, etimefo say there be ono na metro me support amano. Ete dru baby kwa omi nyina atena se ya omote ho. Me ko chie Ponkruma no maja obiri na me ko. Se na me din kwase asem. Oba mu nya tumi wie ye wanfa me ko da. Enti sa wo mo ye. Eti se Ghana for so ye ni ada ho. Se ya ma ye ni anda ho ni ye omo hwan de bia na se de ekọ ne saa na ekọ a wo mo nsese wo suban. Na me say 2028 and the politicians ebe wuru timamuni no ni kokromoti ohianti obehu so mfaso pa ni dru sabre na na mo behu sene a ete na sese bia ye nka mo hwe aye din mu nkoso saa niam besesa ma memfa wonsi ana fe me na me hombra me ba Shadrach Forjo ebe join me ni yedi nkomo the voice of clarity ebe join na fe yedi nkomo e wa ha No Pein ye ka no sene a ete we are on.
The pain.
He wrote 10 sins of Agyapong. And when you take them one by one, none of them was I defending my family members. I was defending the party. And they call it as a sin, so I'm quiet.
The pain.
Education is the equalizer because it is still true that the mind is the standard of a human being. No matter how tall you are, if your mind does not work well, you are just a tall fool.
The pain.
have role models, and the role models, they are pragmatic ones. A pragmatic leader like Dr. Kwame.
We live in a world of contradictions. These contradictions, however, keep the world going. Let me explain what I mean. Ghana is a small but very dynamic, independent African state. We are trying to reconstruct our economy and to build a new, free, and equal society. To do this, we must attain control of our own economic and political destinies. Only thus can we create higher living standards for our people and free them from the legacies and hazards of a colonial past and from the encroachments of neo-colonialism.
When you look at the existing infrastructure in this country, about 60% of it was done by Nkrumah in the period of 9 years, from 1957 to 66. And up to now, we have not been able to match what he did.
Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They prey upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free.
I go around the country and I see the works of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
See the pain.
And he's been my role model.
See the pain. See the pain.
Mr. Speaker, the cocoa farmers.
See the pain.
Producer price and Erikopoku cannot be found. They don't care about cocoa farmers, and they are here telling us inflation, macroeconomics is ready.
See the pain.
But then they say, I am not serving only country, I'm serving Ghana, and especially the youth of this country.
See the pain.
The Chinese president summons all our presidents, and they summon them. The letters may be polite, but it's summons. They go to Beijing, tails between their legs.
You have done the same propaganda for 15 months. Today, you have been
See
exposed
the
by
pain.
electricity charges. Electricity tariffs are exposing you that you are not doing nothing in government for the last 15 months. You've been exposed by water tariffs that for the last 15 months you are not doing anything in government. Mr. Speaker, business owners are suffering. They cannot pay electricity tariffs. Mr. Speaker, cocoa farmers are suffering because you are struggling to manage the cocoa sector. Mr. Speaker, this is nothing other than propaganda. Mr. Speaker, your government so far is government by propaganda of propaganda with propaganda and full of garbage. Garbage. Mr. Speaker, thanks for the opportunity.
See the pain.
Education is the equalizer, because it is still true that the mind is the standard of a human being. No matter how tall you are, if your mind does not work well, you are just a tall fool.
See the pain. See the pain.
Have role models, and the role models, they are pragmatic ones. A pragmatic leader like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
We live in a world of contradictions.
See the pain.
These contradictions, however, keep the world going. Let me explain what I mean. Ghana is a small but very dynamic, independent African state. We are trying to reconstruct our economy and to build a new, free and equal society. To do this, we must attain control of our own economic and political destinies. Only thus can we create higher living standards for our people and free them from the legacies and hazards of a colonial past and from the encroachments of neo-colonialism.
When you look at the existing infrastructure in this country, about 60% of it was done by Nkrumah in the period of 9 years, from 1957 to 66. And up to now, we've not been able to match what he did.
Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They prey upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free.
See the
I
pain.
go around the country and I see the works of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
See the
And he's been
pain.
my role model.
All right, welcome back into Ebrason say yedi enkomo concerning nsamu a yeka ewa ha. Unim say Yewura John Dramani Mahama aka asem we awie sesei abasobode ayede ekoma no omhedium zo da bi yemfa ma no, but me I am expecting say omampani John Dramani Mahama say nyame ye na dom ema ne ba bedru Ghana ha. As I say, o make sure say, sa gayism, anyone wine na, woman they call parliament. Ya they come on mampeni, His Excellency Nana Danko akufo-addo son sign one sign. Omon sign introduce bill. Omonya reintroduction. Na fe omonya no mon fakrata esi so ankasa pan. Say ya no kwese eno ena Lincoln fo gina so a womo anfa abasobode na mama ene ma yehunu nsunsuaso Ghana ha, because yentimi entina Ghana ha ne yemfa ya no enronwere saa o ade ne ye yempe ye but yentimi emfa kukuduro entro se dabi ya makwa masade wi enkoso ewa ha ahokyera Ghana fo na mu no beduru baabi o wanha obi benya tumi se o twa ne beti wakwa ni bia ni ho asabe na dwene ewo from to the extent say oba besia bekasa me ni me nyonko ba ekwa akoda bema bia ni ho na dwene wo from obekasa me bema ketechie me ni me nyonko bema ketechie ekwa akoda eno nsemfo be no nyansa bia nim eti there was no way asade ni betimi nke bekoso wo Ghana ha but aho kire ene de aba eya aho kire ene de aba aho kire manipa timi ye bibia bi aho kire nti na Ghana ni ba oba atukwan akotena manone ose me kwa manone no mahu me yonko ba nti makofa me yonko ba ne se me pe no me ware no ase asem sa enye de nam wei aye niam asese ma yani ekoho ba yemfa ya no keke enno nwere ko gina ba bi nka so da bi me de me nsoso so me mpe but oba wo mamu a wontimi nsekere obo nka se me ma sa de wei enye adwuma ewa ha Ghana ewo mra etia ye friend say sex trade Ghana mra emma kwan but the no ni ade ayeye ewa ha VIP buses a ubehunu say free Ivory Coast na eba Ghana most of them yeah the same man egum from Nigeria near the oma begum wo Ghana ha eti ama Ghana man so say omo so ahunu say Nigeria for the ba no omo be ya wo mu nya musika eti enne Ghana ni baba emfere no so camera esini so camera esini so enkomo aye di no okukwom oman ne mra etia no ahokyere nti womo eye ahokyere nti womo ye etia se sama yofo ni bere mo fama no ni nam Ghana ha no nwere keke mum odi wa no eka na oye wa sopni ada agire me ye adwuma eye den ha bosume so a me wani daso eti ebeye din so bi betinya convince me say me pese obeye saade wi ebeye din yantena se na afa ye ni nkomo e wo sini page medie so abusua medical aka kire se tabia takum eye memedro eti baabi a wo bia no bema fo ni kire baabi a to aduro kwa so me pe tabia takum eno ye adura ebeboa eye adura onsakan bia ebeboa pa anti bomodin se won so onsa aka bie na watimi ede ahye wo mema sem den wagina yi ti anu na tafre eno anu no concerning omampani John Dramani Mahama only di African Union committee special committee ya wo mo championing for reparation no ma yeni ho enkomo na afi yenko anim ensoso odwuma na mbomodin se udeni miwia Shadrack ewa ha enti yebe hyase na
good afternoon sir honorable
No Pein
ya kan sem ya tie
opani wudi ni ba bia afrofri na yeni nkomo
the pacho your from Adebayo you know no say Adebayo yes saa mutu abamu ya politics no man den ya to mu wi anu anu party say we are possible dey so mu de manu nyina no o 210 na na do tap mu kan se gunu se won san na wa pa ni to bin ko ti so ata so akota won be won mi da dia den yenye dem ya pa ni se sie nya ya to o memu ha nya ni nse ko e da mu ka yensu no ya to pa dum be e ko be ai ko so me da wa ada na opposition for years yen to be bi wo kinga pa ma fa kinga pa ba ma pa dia me say me buru for no yen to ba ne ento achina e be si dia be si ma se no
me da say 0240550899 what your memu nyensu no injustice ben and a chain we hello good afternoon hello good afternoon okay 0240550899 0240550899 Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hey, Asembe Nesi. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Oyene.
No Pein.
You can't say that here.
Would anybody be afraid for Namintio? Agyapong, Mamintio.
Michia, Honorable Sheikh Osmanu, Honorable Kennedy, Agyapong, and Honorable Lawyer Kwaku Amodate, the writer, the author, the builder in chief. Ghana, what do you say? You can't for your friends and me before you train slave trading. Slave trading that's what Ghana. Ya toko kwa basa bosumi numuni. Ekuafu yentio muka bosumi o. Eno anu mudi ho. Yentio muka. Abed mafo empanimfo mu nyina jiska. Ede na che slave trader che we. Masa slave trading ndi yentio mu o Ghana pa. Muka ko pe uskadi. Munya masam kra. Mire vide meka no no. Slave trading o Ghana pa.
Medase Agyapong ede ne de ede aba 0240550899 0240550899. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Minia.
No Pein.
I can't send it here, Minia.
Would anybody afraid for Namintio or Penny?
Me, Alaji Mohammed, Kasafi Abuso Kain.
Alaji Mamintio.
When books are be about mining, then the South Africa for I hear Omunshishe. To mining, I was South Africa. More Omudu South Africa mine. Minia, maybe I say, I did China and coupon the Acheno, I put in a Yamudi at the audience. Because
Alhaji, online no a breaky. Alhaji line no I say internet be a minimum 0240550899 0240550899 ma me say okay ma me call for your na free yen sha se ni nkomo. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Inkum.
No Pein.
You can't send your tea pepe.
Felix Belni.
Unim me, Abema.
Nyankuanim.
Aiko Ubojuma.
Yeah.
Na Mamincha Honorable Ken. Baby Aobia, Nyami Kanu, no man of Modin. Felix Adam Quatema West, income first by Susan Michel. Now, Mr. Inkum. Asema, Omampeni Mahama, Kokano. Jumadie na se no eye ye bona baso se o ka ho asem esa ne se abrafo no e de fa oyawo mu pa eye be de ye sa ka cho ma pani mahama ne se asema ukoka ye enu bia na ekoso wo man mo a because minti ase se wo ya ye wo remote area ye bre a ye di drone aba ebo adwuma ebo Ghana for ene usi sika ekomu no edoso dodo ebo manika enti drone service no utwem umani nya adwuma biom enye no bia anya slave ni bia na ekoso because who share ye boss say uba enyama aban dada eye enyama pagina ubeto aso enti uba na se drone service no usi unto aso biom a enye chimodi ni bia one district one factory o se Ghana for boss e obeto aso ama Ghana for nya dwuma ye ene unto aso enye chimodi ni bia ejuma omampani na nado danko akufo-addo eye kuba won tuani nyina aso enye chimodi ni bia ejoma pani mahama ye pau chow e boss na odi ma ye no bomodi aso bediso ma Ghana for ye hun toyen medase
menso meda se 0240550899 0240550899 hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sinopay.
You can't set me a tip of
Opani, we didn't baby afraid na yenti.
You didn't be Kwame Ata. Me friend from my
Mamintio.
Near what now? I used to echo kind. In first years, one that's how I told them that. Now, the auto kind. What's the years? What's that? Brand new part, brand new. Won't chum Capoca won't ya. She never be our way. Say many papa be ma. Or your MVP. She can't yet change opening. Me come to the hotel to say, trust our mammy. But she won't come to move yet. If you can't do our mother, Mata. You're fine, watching. Bye bye.
May I say 0240550899. I mean, for last two callers, nothing. Yemra and Como Twitch so 0240550899 0240550899. Last two callers, nothing. Yanko. Hello, good afternoon.
Mr. Ngu.
Sinopay.
You can't send it here. Mr. Ngu, I like you in a matter.
Hey, Alhaji, Mamintio.
So, as a mechanism, I say, one, Yampany for no idea, bro. Yes, I can say, Okosanic track, will be better gold, will be better oil, will be better cocoa, will be better site, will be better timber. Mr. Okumo, oh, yes, she say, yeah, that timber, then you have Paswana. Okay, Obi was. Go to South Africa. Because when you're only South Africa, man, yeah, all you need is what's that contract? No, nobody here will be doing it now. Mr. Cook, what a year this year.
I had in common year pass, so ne line no a breaky, a bassa common in your day. Ti ma memfa Alhaji Ensia na memfa last caller no na fe menko enkomotwetwe so 0240550899. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. Richia Uronko.
Sinopay.
Richia Momochiam.
Ya jo so di ni ba bia free.
Good afternoon. It is saying Kadi obe to me aka media no. Me free Nima Ajia
ma yentio.
Ajia Nima. Wanima. What name? Daniel say party ni abre. Yes, sister party no say your who better ya na. Ah, what bad me say ya party 292. Ya just change that.
Debbie, enye. Oh. Aja ma memfa winsia because me online ni breaking me nto nka kra ti ma memfa aja ensia na fe yentoa dwumade ni so Shadrach Fojo Atenase, the voice of clarity na yede efre no Atenase ya yebedi nkomo pani gbokode
eja
bibia da yie
yemi adom bibia da yie
dedi kam yen sha semfri His Excellency John Dramani Mahama any AU committee womo championing for reparation. Sankomo say nkomo pa.
Okay, Mr. Nkumeda say mawie yi na meda tie for ne ahefo nyina say concerning issue he say da pono so a sabio Ghana fo nyina twe no esre ne abasa ekoba nyina no eyenkomo papa ene yenkomo bi asabio we bibini bia na otisa nkomo yi a ema ahotoso amani da so bi say sabio udi bonne seden kra na che seden kra dachi bia no nka yo ho atemosu wo ho Now, out of these, the akoba sebi Uganda ha bibia na ye pese ye de politics that is what some of us yeah mfo so what you say and come my course so sebi enra ye koto about hu ye hu a major nation like the United States of America say he doesn't even approve it on peninsula
yeah
nti ne abisi ho say reparation hu koma yedi at the end of the day no e koma pa sebi Uganda win Africa nyina na ide we share estimated slave exports from 9,000, that is 1,400 and 1,900. It sums up to about 5-something million Africans. They were taken into slave trade in Europe, in America, the various Americas, the South and North Americas. Now, some we no, and yet, and a subjugating, a chassis. Enti nipa aso sanko mo we mu denden ne sesebio enra na yekoda na John Dramani Mahama sorry no come make this statement no no so that be we ye issue a sebio na do danko akufo-addo pick up this issue from 2023 or call United Nations and or the kotuja and asidi ni no ye mfa dakrope emu asansemu ento so aba it is a process. So even in John Dramani Mahama's speech, some of us are a pair of mind punto mind teacher na anye say on kwani emfa cameras use more abasono and na even anye say Ghana kwana ye victims of this slave trade, Some of us were out of the opinions that the president as opportunity, He didn't stand there as a Ghanaian president as an Endrano.
Yeah.
He was representing the whole of Africans. AU, the whole of African Union, and we know my name. And this form, sorry, no pay sabio. I said, yeah, Ubia, Okotre Zamsa, or no Cotre Hansem Quan Usia, and there could be an say, Anoma and Hansem, and I'll say, Anoma, a boy and Takra, two could see you as a Diana's Boom Cotre, and or Danny Communina, Bay Cotre Combo. Forgetting that Anoma Hansem Bisano. Now the makers see and say, and this is why my first asking we boom. And then they hear you. There were pertinent issues in this nation as we speak. Sabu, O my munyo. Obiaka chapsi a timmy women nay, a mujo. Na yemfa asama yesha se can be 4 years ago, 3 years ago, the entirety of the African Union and a championing discourse say. I also said the European nations or those that benefited from the slave trade, into Wabi, Edema African nations, You don't go there as a single person, riding on the shoulders of the African Union and assume as though African Union Ghana. The Ghana when I president out there, and we were some of us, me personally, I was expecting that the president would one way or the other acknowledge the entirety of the African Union, especially countries like Angola, Nigeria, Ethiopia.
But he was introduced as the leader.
As
the leader of the committee. I mean, in capacity of AU.
Yes.
And I don't think say Okasaye Edema Nehu as Ghana president.
He didn't do, but and there's what is on the media.
Oh no, there be say no dear.
That is what. So oh yes, we just said they said that one fan to where they. If you talk, I see a Ghana for this is the issue because here in Timin Cotton Angola for slaves about 3.6 million, Niger 1.4 million, Ghana 1.6 million, a country like Mali 524,000. Sudan 650 as recorded. You have the numbers set. The totality of these numbers, we are around about 5.6 million of Africans the firm is saying you do far situation more than that, but 15 million of Africans go through this. Then NDC for Ghana phobia though it's an achievement for the whole of Africa, but it's not an achievement for this government. There was never in any way enshrined in the manifesto of the NDC that they are going to seek for the reparation of slave trade for Africa and even Ghana. It is not part. yatena sinya ya bopɔ ne de ano kasa na hyewa no se kwane ne kokoka ene ye pe obi ne ka ye dede hu se ya sabi obi na nam ka ma asem se de okum ni nantwa na adwene na anya tofo na now the danko akufo-addo represented the AU in this sabio assembly in 2023. It was reported on all the major media houses internationally. It is a win for the entirety of Africa. And these people should not pick it up as sabio BC that and then they can say
so that doesn't mean say problem say NBC for Presi John Dramani Mahama as president of Ghana.
The problem we have in this nation is say ekura ehiano ene bonu dudu. There are pertinent issues. And you're sorry to pay Sampa enjoy Sampa enjoy.
And since when?
Ya wahina ya gazetting was Sampa as we speak. Oko bokwa how do you? And as we speak, going to check the dailies. Alavanyon those areas when entokwa damu den dia ejadama yeshi afie ni ade. What is the interior minister doing about some of these things? Bokun sense me atontwa you. It is John Dramani Mahama in opposition. And an demo I say it is only when an MPP or power and then Tokwa so bokuni ade. But in their last 1 year, 3 months in office, we have seen worse atrocities happening in Boko. No 2 ways about that. Go to Sampa and see just in about 2 weeks, from 2 weeks away. That Sampa mo dying. We have interior ministers sitting in this nation. Wama kata omwani sesabio sebisebio de ekoto Sampa ne yehunu ye. Ya wa hemfo aso Sampa nsemu ama sundwoni Sampa. These are not the issues you should bring it up. They are pertinent issues. Na me blame obi asesabio the fourth estate of the realm media platform stations e wo Ghana ha no. Sabio omunko de Sampa enkola 9 years 10 years ya show much videos and pictures are there. We have chiefs threatening other ethnic groups in this nation. Because we have an issue happening in the northern part of this nation. Around the middle belt, we have an issue. Around the Volta region, we have an issue there. When you say side issue, when you near the politics as usual, now escalate here. What would be the piece of this? What would be the essence of this reparation? So,
in as much as there are issues here in Ghana, and no different from this way before
reparation and right
and as John Dramani Mahama.
No.
He went there as the leader, representative of a union and wako kasa.
Now mind now would this is no
the young phantom but baso say wayade. Even the akukudro to say it in a
akukudro ya chade ya mase ko kan ano akukudro ni say sabi say Mr. Nkume nkwala wo P3 gina ni pedoma e ka apoa me ni enya bia na koye nrai.
No, but you see we no a different and they am no e ka say me a wo kan eno so ya asem o se asoman yeti e
won hia di kwase ka e ko gira won ra e se kan na ko address ka nyina e fa Sampa sense that is the most important
no, but eno no de ye kan sa.
People can live there. I have people who are teachers, who are medical people that have left Boku over 1 and 2 years ago.
And since one, Sadio Wenyan, MPP Abanso or Suneho.
MPP Abanso.
It's a senior
Nanado Mbeki State.
You can see a deal and blockade the glory of what he has done over there.
It's a reparation as a Nekokan. And it's a Kuba in the BTS and how much in the BTS Ghana.
So Muguso.
This incident might go into about decades and some even get 25 and now Russia about to say the whole of Africa and who are quantify the padodo a slave trade and hoka no muntu na sebe nipa egu Africa han yenim nyansa ni adwene mu say ye nipa do say slave trade mu ni na if we are looking for any value for them it's any enim before ha sabi o mrofo no honam necessary o mu ni adwene ni nyansa sini o.
And so you want us to understand say slave trade na ekoso a ye di nkomo osoro ho no say the ekoso a ha no e chance
1900 new 1900 how many years ni 1900
over
400 years ago. I think you can watch them. I didn't see who man. You don't want to talk about where from this hypocrisy. As much as 400 years ago, we are getting people to come to understand and say the idea be mining yet. And no idea 400 years. But idea say and some of us Sampa that has a gazetted chief by the constitution of this nation. You were interior minister in this nation who has kept mute over incidents of some. When I said these are incidents that Ghanaians should sit up and just realize that there are issues of politicizing everything. No,
politics no say nyadia and the free as well. Because BBC can say they are politicizing it. They are doing politics na papa.
Mr. Nkum, I think last week me na betina and I'm say ama nyosem. Ama nyosem. Ensem a yem kika boom like with different parties. Obi ade na dwenkyere.
Yeah, no.
It is a that means that we are not doing the right politics in this nation.
Exactly.
That is the point I'm trying to make. Say, some reparation. So I don't even want to champion that cause for reparation. What you say? Because I want some you, Mahama Yarga. There are about 2 or 3 members of parliament. That is your constituency. You go to your constituencies in the midst of armored vehicle. People that are during elections, said, what's the best you are going to bring peace to the people of this nation. A certain member of parliament, you change Anthony them. These are issues
that are issues about our northern region, Bokono. The same thing also cause was Sampa.
Sampa is happening. Go and check the media. It is there every day. It is happening. What you say? And last week, Officer Hinekwabe addressing the incident that is happening. Said that he has called on the interior minister, other defense minister, and all these people say some pants and some some parent that hono. Yasi hina ya gazette or hino. What are the chieftaincy issues at war sampa now? These are issues the president should sit in states to address. The 1 month, 2 months, we need peace in this nation. And Kabaya the man when say Almighty say Ghana, Sabio, when you broke out to Lord Council, no John 1 week, we travel as far as Burkina Faso to buy maize, to buy tomatoes. Where these areas and to quite you will Rantier, Mabawa, Ding. Ghana na the sabio asumdwe ni ho na ye fuel tensions because what it is and we see a party number yes a party number can we build a nation on this on this premise say boko adane ti sa manfo so wo bia ni ho a serious business Ghana ha woni ni sika ba ko boko some pass ya hwensem na nka amfa ne puma sibira nsia it will happen the same thing. What is more bitter than see you obi na America? No, with some of them crown pono omunyo freedom dan sa obi otini ko man kasa wonya sumbi edi to ni asekan ni jaye no adenti na da ho sa obi asabi wadru mu da ho bia. Listen, it is not about MPP NDC munya sanse munu na Ghana ha motia asembia si na se wo peba bi dan ko bia bi di ho akobata jan declare ho sa wo MPP ni declare ho sa wo NDC ni bokon sense bi ekosu yi na na do dan kwakufa na na moto 2 years na na 24 72 na na wiye ye chiao entina so nka asem no ya ka asem na wie aban ede ne nsa ahye nkrata ase ede order ba bisa ho se ka asem wie na akwakosi who is supposed to enforce whatever that has been declared in Boko. The Ekoso was Sampa no. Can President Mahama tell us that he's not aware of the issues happening in Sampa? Can the president not on to say and him for which is actually a project other him for young gazette woman? Where from all these things? Now hypocritically acting as though say they know see you and honor or for camera metu Sampa metu Boko and metu baby and ejada Ekoso you could not hold all those places. Say can John the man behind my saku could no confidence now. Or the Gina Hokasa and Rana, Sanka no ye Boko says to TV to watch them, ye he Sampa to watch them now. Now Kobenya the confidence he had yesterday to speak. Speaker, Okuja Tablak or your foreign affairs minister, but who could major them? There's no peace in this nation.
But you can't say he has lost touch with issues at Ecos or Ghana. I'm sure so he knows everything.
So are you quiet about it? And as I said the amount for Kika say the politics everywhere, it is also in one way or the other benefiting your camp, so you are quiet about it.
I dare not abba. Eti ye wo kwan ya fast wa ye solve. So we can say bia o matu o madwene o majaho. But ye betimi aka say ye sere wo mo. Omo make sure say sa de ne to betwa. Because say obi ye ohene a ye nyina ni ai papa ba kun ya da no onye ohen so okofro hin ntoma didi mpenifo atemu okrom ade. These are people omunyama sa issues no eba. It is a
your ministry in charge of culture, chieftaincy and other issues. Oh Ghana. Me man I forgot his name. Ofri Banda area one the minister in charge. Sampa Beni area. Mumisana say, what are the measures he has taken? The reason why me I'm a Ghanaian, tell me Obi Masubian who are dancing some in Ghana. Engineer cost as 400 years ago, and then a munya no masibre. Even a benefit on Kramin, you have not been able to quantify it. And these are issues already 20 years. It's Musamna Ecoso, actually the peace of this nation, Yasumje, jeopardizing the development of some of these communities. No, Nianya Waka Asama, I see 400 years ago, and then Yanya Numwaye, a benefit on Krabi new Anumwayano. Then let's say a dada home. What you say? I had to say with you, a jada where you want to know more Homa, a do you know what done for your party, what's society no Mako do any, and then about who of you, I want to say about you of you, because there are real issues in your home, you have not been able to address these issues. Whatever that has happened on the front of the African Union at the UN yesterday, it was excellent, it was good, it was positive for Africa, but the SABC, I want to say, why am I not talking before that is the same incident here. Nipa wa Ghana, Sabio, and Galamsey, one bedroom, maybe you work on my mama be working, and none. They might also go to China to go and demand someone crop on the best and sass it. Muslim pay at the beginning of my name. Let me say, why not Tom Ghana and sass much China for? These are the issues which we asking ourselves. Say, Nippon and Yakojana, why I see I, Mato is live near the Bruni Banner by I'll be on Tony Pamana, or any Palachu in a baby. Bruni by the free time with him, the cuckoo, and answer when he said, I am free at you, baby, Galamsey. And again, in the sun and sudden coho. We should not act as ostriches near the audience as some you, away the BC that yet your baby, Yanka be shemu, and I'm afraid to real son to say, I be before Yan, yes, our Tom of Comomo, come high tea, your work and for companies, and walk home. They are paying people below the minimum wage. What is the employment minister doing about it? All these things are all forms of trade. And now, I can say, so America for the ship. ABC a fraud simple and Purana Hono. Oh, Labadi. E come say wo so mo mo nka hwe say wo a wo primary ka kwakwa yakwa one be se one enka no maba okrom ha because create me no and last week what here this week yampo sabi onipa adi dem okrom ha omabom ho modern akọ school universities awie bi kra master's degree awie aban we kra chagonya so mo wadwuma mponye when he has promised to give them jobs automatic employment aban we promise automatic placement or remember teachers for net for misa mo say anoma bampo and this aban to me am employment. These are some of the realities we need to face them. Yes, you know, we don't even know when the benefits are going to come out. My name is and then nipa sabio some few months ago. Moya demonstration, mutimiko 2 police force afwa. From come on, you never got UN, so I'm representing Ghana as what? Why are we this hypocrites? I didn't know for Oliver Voma was a one. And then go to police and for
Becca Voma. Yeah, Nasabi America for a demonstration go to police afwa. These are issues. I say, Nipe Kasama ban. No, you see, with the issue of chieftaincy, problems are echo Sonia Dieno. You see, the minister, our canas Alhaji Ibrahim Ahmed. Masamo our cano and he say Ghana buying Asha say all year amendment concerning chieftaincy. A choir ya defa so so be a book at no aye, you know. Aban egbomu a all say na me no kase. They on tokwane de senior agency mu. One say asese ye swift ni etimi esia no. One say we can't also say because of anunti ye man pani ni ho kwan so obedi EU anim Mr. Nkum. Wakodi enu we mumenya sa issue no enkokra. This are issue Bibi say emfaso be pan enne sa asem na ekoso be benefit in the meantime. Say na yeti we President Mahama akokasa ama yato aba ama yakasa Africa for ya chimu enkoa nyina no yahusi ya anye ne ye ya bepe bibi dia mamo da ben na sa bibi ba scan back se sika back a meche anya one African country mo bi antra on nada no ho me the dazi it is scan back se me nya bi abrofo ni I think less than about 10 African countries spend omonya affected
almost about the 43 or 47 African countries ni nyina ya affected of this slave trade. Send the ebe channel. If adie we me see ebe sin one way ya we 40 years bi but who be that time is we back because some see 400 years ago, 500 years ago, 600 years ago some we nyina sisi.
They wan kofo beto ma ya nya we.
One hour what ayi bia bia se awo na afi futu ati ba bi wa ze ma wo say. Emfa so de be na wo benya wo. Issue was see sampa ya kase ni pantimi entena sampa nya so ndie no. On my way team sesi no. The IGP no at group team my friend is saying Black Maria, right? Ya bi we tu ni bone so sa e okrum ha. It is excellent. Why? Because abiding through the IGP knows ayade hu here say dey na form near kebi all these instances. And the the minister na kan sesi say aban ye hihye no. And the da bi yanko so nkum nipa oboko. Yanko so nkum nipa osampa. It is aban wo papa say sabio sampa so pesa anojo na. You cannot tell me that you need the FBI, you need the Mossad to come and halt activities in Sampa. You don't need all these people to come around and deal with these issues. There are pertinent issues presently in this nation. Let us address them. Let us give our people the peace we demand to build up this nation. That is the most important thing. So some you see the incidents happening in Boko, Sampa, and in this part of Ghana now. It will not take 1 week for us to see changes happening in this area. People will gladly accept postings into these areas. Teacher for nurse for posting, no. Some of them also posting great a koboko. Nabako won na otuwe. Se ka se de dan kwa ma 1 Ghana cedi dan na yi afekon pa ba ko de dan akotana ho. You will not do that. We have seen this incident getting down to the south. These are incidents that perform as a matter of urgency. So within the shortest possible time, they should cap these incidences. So if you children number can same way, I must have you deal with these issues as soon as possible. Let's attend to these issues. These are pertinent issues. And now, Abana Quatina Parliament, so we'll pass a value for money bill or Parliament. Yeah. When you have issued that 76% of your big push agenda through single sourcing procurement policy. One about that, no. These are incidents. Once the side we see, and nobody's talking about it. And now, after forcing, as your friend is saying, Finance Minister, or collate the bill of the Value for Money Bill 2026 to Parliament. Yeah. And Manua NDC for their numbers 189, they have approved the bill. Say out of it, there is going to be a creation of an institution called the Value for Money Office, which is solely going to do with procurement issues. Is it an agenda by this NDC government? Say they are going to politically centralize all procurement issues, such that other state agencies will not have access to details of that, because Security Office in India, every appointment to that office now is going to be done by the NDC's government. It's not necessary to say you are appointed NDC. Yeah, let me state this part.
Because your Financial Management Act. Act no team near Juma. You see, for your value for money, no, it is so serious. Say, I'm me image be fact me be factor so na rabia esi ewaha. When you say even University of Ghana, krano, ekwanya aban cheshe sese ebe sika ba ye sika ne de free de kwa ha say necessary allowances sese man do say ye baby rate ye de ma bibia ne ade no. It is not working. It is a institutions ne niama ekoso na ehun be hia se betimi anya value for money office no.
So we need Public Procurement Authority. Every government contract in this nation needs to pass through the procurement
but they are not complaining whether a form is not an form, they are not complaining.
So what tells Ghanaians that this office is going to be effective too? What you say? These are constitutionally established institutions. Public Procurement Authority, Auditors General Department, your Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, your local, your Office of the Special Prosecutor, local Police Department, your Financial Forensic Unit, and your Financial Intelligence Center. We have all these sectors that government have created under the constitution of this nation. All these ones are there. Is it the parallel creating such that Now you are limiting procurement activity to one particular office, such that all the other offices will not have oversight because they have declared it as an autonomous office. The other institutions will not have access to their details of information in that area unless you apply for information. When in this manner, this same government could have strengthened the activities of the public accounts, public procurement authority and the Auditor General Department. Again, public accounts committee. Who the huge scandal causing financial loss to the state. And what has the Federal government done about it?
For me say and the document be to TV so abaya juma ku when your contractor or your product edema one different organization na sika efri mu ba saade we omo ye no ye wo oye product ni we are not their comma nti trips na each bia no each month bia no oman kokra no about 7 trips and omoko each trip generated 2 million Ghana cedis
and 14 million
2 million Ghana cedis no omu we are na omo ache
1 million
over 1 million Ghana cedis amomo as allowances. After now better production cost e dey free and san na better taxes and so dey free dey akano it will be say won say sika na adwuma na omo ye na hu sika no eyin fa na ekọ eti say aban ye sa na ma we ya no kra ne say I mean e betimi as strengthen ebia institutions no for your program na ye wo no the institutions bebre no e wo ho keke.
That is the same thing this government is going to do here. Radio Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Now, sir, Special Prosecutor. Now, don't so bad. No, say institutions be able to make me a juma, but not so tea. I will be so about not so better. It's politicians who say I am more.
So let me. My main has it here. Office of Special Prosecutor. We need to this budget now. Almost around 158 million. Ghana city budget coho. Last year 107 million. 2024 147 million.
So that.
We have the youth of this nation crying for jobs. We have the finance minister coming out to say that government is choked to pay people. Why is the government getting money to finance these white elephant institutions? Why is government getting money to finance them? When they on mandate they office of the value for money no almost say conducting thorough assessment of project value, issuing composite certificates for major contracts before approval, tracking adherence to established standards and applying penalties when necessary. All these functions are under the Public Procurement Authority. So what is preventing the Public Procurement Authority from enacting or acting on these functions of DSA or making effective and active? What you say? The intentions are and they say the intentions of bringing out these bills to create the office, and then they say they are going to check over price contract when your government has already issued that contract to a tune of about 73 billion Ghana cedis. I think na mobile institutions, you know. No, Mambeka said laws do not have retrospective effect, so they cannot investigate the contract you have already issued. Why not all the head of this institution, where the major appointment in this office is going to be done by the NDC? Bringing the NDC government to check to book that.
Only said all these institutions are commerce seminar. No meaning our board of directors.
Board one appointee them.
And on them come on. Why not appointee them? It's depending. Sometimes me before say me pananka sanswa ya appointing on so no. The character and so to me stopping him maybe. Because the last time a Ghana gas
avenue to create jobs for boys and girls.
No, by a Ghana for never
and who it is at the detriment of the majority of Ghanaians.
But they are also Ghanaians.
It's near costing what yes about we boss who back corruption issues, who back value for money, who back store projects, who buy a saglemi or Sada, Jida, Isophoton. Mass branding, banking sector cleanup, all this all high profile corruption cases are what court in abandoned than a year some you nyachum. Our one so I'm pushing this incident in oh by and who put the one so let me try to see to the finality of all these issues in court. You just come and watch your
on say why yen shishe bia e de tribunal eba corruption related cases. I bet my didn't intend them.
That's who's again.
It's so who could disika. Who said, ye among who say, so you need to a Jumana no disika cra, and Brano, a between and he will end up going free. Eti say no way I and she say, and between ya being pa near ye.
What is the assurance and the guarantee?
Sunday, I know there will be until and will be until I'm sure
the opening cuckoo board issues near the Yachino Sre Abasa case now it is dead. We have seen Saglimi housing project. What all eyes can see how much was budgeted for, how much was actually invested into the project. Where is the difference? The project is still stored. Now we catch them say, "Oh, the institution now buy Nipana the leading face of the Saglimi project. No, what whitewash, what clear woman, the biggest clearing agent in this Fourth Republic is John Dramani Mohammed's government. Say the Nipa Kujina is a Libya Dio Massimo. Oh, buyer, all these people are NDC people. It is of no interest to you. Wow, so and catch it say, oh, per se courts in India, 7 Eguchari. One of them will bet Makuya upon Chafan Woody. Why bet my Yakobafan Woody? Sa issue of the two just said, they coach 1 million Ghana cedis for a certain group of people who has been able to prosecute them. We have the office of the special prosecutor. Have they been invited to?
Now, who said a financial intelligence center for a freezy Sanko phone in account?
Freezing account, but they have everyone who's
board of directors
account,
and they are supervising this nonsense. Emma Ekoso. So
what is the assurance? And this all this year can say.
Mamin corner sabato emfa messages are abano emayena and come ho na me am no chana if you adante chana de free range ye be bi ni akoyanim. Why? Sabato ya fe aye krado ya messages ahodo aye saka no. Wode eba enne de mitimi se niam aye den papa. Minim se men ka internet ya asemo. Sem amenko eno nyina ne te say obapa boko de
nyame adom boko na o say
nyame adom awie se wanya bibi aye
the other mama no
over 5 minutes me enko
okay awie ma me fa YouTube messages kakra na me fa WhatsApp messages no kakra enka ho na me the YouTube there no and na e share as usual. Where Richard or Heneba Domako de UK or Ghana politicians think they are wise. Mahama is continuing what Akufo-Addo started because there is money involved which he can get his shares when the money is paid. Or say God is watching. Where to see Selina Cranton or say some MPs there or say some MPs be there. I say abonkele kwa. A champo kwame say good afternoon Mr. Inkum. Watching you live from the Wu Equiapim. We are waiting for the base because NPP NDC has lost focus. Hashtag Nyametia say hashtag the base has come to stay. We say yeah mami Winnie Champo. I say good afternoon my PhD family. Hope all is well by God's grace. Sinupe with no fears. Continue exposing the corrupt institutions, those greedy CEOs and MPs. May God give you courage and strength always. When your last message I made for YouTube, now me the WhatsApp so there kakraka ho. When your rater, I say good afternoon, Mr. Inkum. Ghana needs change. The base will do for the base will do for Ghanaians. The base, jobs, the base, Ghana first. We are still connected. Mamefa WhatsApp messages no so kakra enka ho. Wey eye nkunyake. I say the lion's mentality on the slavery is insightful. Wey also say good afternoon Mr. Inkum. NPP is not a party NPP is not a party we should die for. Hashtag the base. I say I'm Pasolo de Wu Equia Pim. We say hello, good afternoon to you all guys out there. I see you are doing a great job. Okay, I see you are doing a great job. NDC and NPP, they are the same. I say they are the same. They don't think about Ghana. I say they don't think about Ghana, only their stomach. That is why we must kick them into trash. And the base is our only hope for the youth of this country. Where a fifi, edifi, a drink gano, and a buyer. We say greetings, Mr. Inkum, Mr. Sumeni, and Sabatel. I say congrats to Mahama for championing the transatlantic slave trade issue. I say, but what our leaders are taking us through in this country is same compared to the slave trade. So as they are fighting it externally, they should do the same, or say they should do the needful internally in Ghana here too. We are suffering. They are taking us through internal slavery here, where Isaac Kofi Arthur Edifitama Community 10 and Ebaye. We say thank you, Mr. Inkum Dazi. You did very well this afternoon by consistently drawing the attention of your guest, who is not happy about the UN resolution about the slavery, to the effect that it's all about the injustice perpetrated against Africans and not necessarily about Mahama, who was only nominated to speak on behalf of the African leaders. Indeed, I very much appreciate your campaign and call us to always think about Ghana first. It's a genuine one where Paul Edifi Ashaliboche and by my last one way our WhatsApp. We say good afternoon. Please tell Kennedy to be careful with Kwesi Pratt. Amen.
Kwesi Pratt. Fodo. Sabi mami na wase na me admechna efiada o. Echna ebewie bibia. Why? All right. Mami na wase echna ye pon adwuma me do be kọ nwure bi nkakra.
Mate.
Na wakọ gem from akama. Why?
Mate.
Me da se opening me ankwe.
Mr. Nkum, there is no slave trade. There is no slave trader. A chance say on my penny or Kunyadi. Ubaba Kobwa and Mabuna no our booking boxing arena. I promise you, I'm say, you bear one job, 3 shifts. Now, Obidia Kunya, 1 year, you don't have a choir obey implemented that policy. There is no slave trader. A chance say a mampenia will promise you Mabuni say Ubamamu automatic job placement. Ubedia Kunyano. The first 3 months of Agyapong through your chief of staff was sacking more than 70,000 Ghanaian you say what na fee. There is no slave trade. A chance say better project. There is no slave trade. A chance say hospitals. Enyampa. Them wudi sika ekoto pampers. The nipa na water pampers aman wo yare a onko da wiem. Slave trade be na chance ha anima ekoso.
Mami na wase nyame bo achina na ya de awie. Why? Ya wie. Na bo achina. So amantem. Oye late me send bebre wasan so aye late. Eti ya de asi me da se okan ho asante mantemo Ash FM and then Nap Radio e wo fifini mantemo. Oman FM e wo nkrapompene mantemo. Net2 TV GH on Facebook and YouTube and so ekremo the nende and ya debaye tabia takum ya meme drope bi ebeboa papa ya do mo nso ase se omuta ya chi em ya de ebaye ya de asi nyankopon ya adom ekina ebesan ba na afi ya ba beto aso sinu pein ya kan sene a etie we are out.